Back from Weather and Nature with Molen Kenyana. Thank you so much, Molen, for the update and the knowledge. Every morning, please do not miss that segment that gives you a broader understanding of nature so that we can save nature to have a better environment. Once again, I'm Robert Kirabo Nyonyintono, and this is Good Morning Uganda Agenda. Would not get tired reminding you that please perfect the soaps. Do it for yourself, not for police, not for the Ministry of Health, not for the president, but for your life, because at the end of the day it will be you who will be gone, and these people remain because they have perfected the soaps. Well, there's so much happening in the country. We've seen police at the forefront of curbing crime, and even some areas where we thought people had taken advantage and maybe there was a bit of lawlessness, we saw police moving and reign in that field. With me in studios, I have the police spokesperson of the Criminal Investigation Directorate, that is Twine Charles Marshall, with whom we are going to be discussing issues of cyber bullying in this country. Like I said initially, this is a time or an area where many Ugandans thought they can do whatever they do and walk away. But recently, we saw 3 being held for misusing this opportunity of modern technology by even announcing the head of state to be dead. And we expect maybe more arrests will be conducted. Marshall, nice having you this morning.
It's always my pleasure to find you live, Robert, and your team. And I bring to you greetings from the team at CID headquarters. They sincerely appreciate what you are doing. And good morning to you viewers.
Maybe before you go further, this is out of curiosity, I'm just asking. Every time I've interacted with people from CID, I never see them in uniform. Is it part of your way of doing things? One watching would say, I'm having a police officer, they expect this attire. Why do you never?
We are detectives. Sometimes we want to do our work incognito, but there is no law that stops us from putting on a uniform. Actually, quite often, some of us are always in uniform. In office, or sometimes even in with the members of public. But there are some activities which we do that requires us to be under concealment.
Okay.
I just come and interact with members of public, and you know, somebody may think I'm an ordinary person. When I'm at 100% on duty, and eventually I get what I want, go compile a case file and surprise the suspect. But it's not by law that we shouldn't put on a uniform. Actually, going forward, the management has instructed that we should now start putting on a uniform when we are in office. And I think there are a few logistical challenges. Maybe by close of this financial year, everything will be done and we'll be putting on a uniform. Yeah.
Then I also want to thank police, because of late you seem to be closing in to the actual people that could have taken years without being arrested. Well, we are seeing now 20 million up for grab for that one who can give us lead information to the arrest of the lead gang leader of what has been happening in the country. So I want to commend you for that.
That's the language we want. That's the language we want. There are some people who have unfortunately castigated us. They are looking at the trivial things and magnifying it as if it's torture, trying to divert us from the core. Let me tell you, Robert, with the guidance of HE the President and the management of Uganda Police, we deliberately, systematically and methodically built a very big, formidable and crime infrastructure. We built a laboratory, a forensic laboratory, which at the moment serves different jurisdictions. Initially, so many samples would be delivered to South Africa for examination. But to the contrary, we are also receiving samples from South Africa coming to Uganda for analysis. we are serving, our laboratory is serving so many countries in East and Central Africa. And this laboratory looks at forensic evidence. It looks at DNA, it looks at data, electronic data analysis, it looks at issues of phone, issues of guns, and I think going forward, it's because of this investment we put in this anti-crime infrastructure that has brought us far. And we are very, very, very confident that going forward, every criminal that commits a crime will be understood from the site. You know, we are now remaining with two major anti-crime infrastructure. We want to create a DNA bank. In some jurisdiction, if you touch here and go, you leave the DNA here. Just like here, every scene of crime which we go to, we get the DNA of a person who has been at that scene. We swab and get it, but we don't have anywhere to compare it with. In some other jurisdiction, you just extract this DNA, you put in the laboratory, they analyze, they will say, no, this DNA is for Robert, who registered as Robert Nyonyintono, son of so and so, of such and such clan, and apparently he's staying in such and such place. You go and pick the person. But for us now here, we extract the DNA, and we don't have anywhere to
It's after arrest and you try the match.
It's after arrest that you try and the things match. We extract fingerprints. Apart from the fingerprints of the people who have been profiled before as criminals, we don't have anywhere to match them from. Now, going forward, we want to build a fingerprint bank from the day of birth. The moment we do that, plus what we already have, and we have also trained personnel. The Directorate of Forensic Sciences has got very excellent investigators and analysts, totaling to over 50. And they work like bees, ever busy, very thorough, and it's the reason why the lives of these criminals that are continuously committing ferocious crimes are becoming endangered. Yes.
Well said. That is more hope to Ugandans that police has the capacity, has the equipment it needs to ensure it cracks down on criminality. Now, Twin, I want us to go to issues of cyberbullying. This is something that we've seen in Uganda, despite being laws day by day increasing. Actually, we even know of people who are living out of this. It has psychological, it has economic, it has issues to do with dignity. And many times people have complained that it seems it's an offense someone can commit in Uganda and just walk away because police maybe is not able to locate this person, or maybe they lack the will.
Well, you see, there's something that happened that to the eye of an ordinary person outrightly show that this is indiscipline. This is immorality. This is being cheap, and you know, generally it's indiscipline. Growing up here in so many Ugandan communities, there are some things which they tell the children when they are growing up. If you meet elders, greet them. If you see an elder with a burden, please try to give a support. If you're annoyed with an elder, keep quiet. Don't abuse. So going forward, it's a moral issue. You are not supposed to abuse. You are not supposed to announce death if you are not an authorized person. The setup in different cultures here, but even in the modern culture, if somebody dies from UBC, God forbid, somebody from Bukede, somebody from whatever institution should not rush to be the first person. These days they even call it breaking news. Breaking news. so and so managing director or director finance has passed on or succumbed to COVID. It's very bad. The head of the institution, the spokesperson of UBC, has not said so. The family doctor or the family head has not said so. Now who are you? Whose news are you breaking? That's why we have a challenge. Now, to make matters worse, they break news for people who have died, but when actually they have not died. We had a suspect, the other time I was sharing his colleagues here, we had a suspect in Chireka who was arrested for a certain violent crime. They announced to the mother that your son has been beaten dead. Immediately the woman got a stroke and died instantly. When we gave the boy a bond, he went to bury the mother.
Yeah, unfortunate.
The other time I saw Mr. Lukwago saying, when they announced him dead, he was extremely, very, very, very emotionally attached. He got annoyed, he became more weak, because there are some people who truly love him. Although I found it a little bit paradoxical, saying that, no, but you can ignore those people. And because the only remedy you can do is come out and tell people that, no, I am alive. But from the time they have announced you dead to the time when you come out, do you know the kind of emotional damage that will have been created to some people? Some people have so many illnesses to the extent that merely announcing far like that, he or she can immediately collapse.
And even in our cultures, you brought in that element, there is a procedure we communicate news of death in case it is true. You don't just wake up and, hey, have you had so-and-so's died? No, sometimes when a person has to first eat, there is how you prepare that to find a conducive environment for this message. But then, now I want to look at specifically the investigative machinery of this country.
Yes, please.
What has taken police this long? Why I asked, is it absence of law or will? We've had several people in this country that have reported cyberbullying, some have reported being declared dead, and we've not seen the swiftness that this time we saw with the police being able to arrest 3 people, even saying even those in diaspora will find out when they are brought back home. What is creating a fertile ground for this to continue in our country?
Thank you, Robert. You see, first of all, when you look at that law, the punishment is not that lethal. And I think the framers of the law never made it lethal, because they know sometimes that crime is committed out of emotions, or out of ignorance, or sometimes out of omission. But they provided a punishment because there are some people who truly commit such crime with ultimate intention. And therefore, we were, for us cases which are misdemeanors, we call them simple cases. Sometimes we give room for some people to repent. Or sometimes even when we arrest people, they become remorseful. And at our level, we caution them, please don't repeat this. But also, most importantly, is that this law of offensive communication has been there since time immemorial. Actually, like under the Computer Misuse Act. The Computer Misuse Act, I think it was enacted in 2009. Now, that law was provided. And we have since been arresting people and prosecuting them. We have been arresting people and prosecuting them. Of course, like I've indicated, others have been cautioned. Stella Nyanzi was charged of the same. She was successfully prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced. She was exonerated on appeal. And the grounds of her exoneration were on technical grounds. Of course, considering the fact that the standard of proof in Uganda is to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt.
So do you lack capacity to, in case, because the case is as good as the facts?
Yeah, you see, the standard of proof in criminal prosecution being proving the case beyond reasonable doubt, it's not like waiving. During the course of the investigation, you can commit an error. During the course of prosecution, you can create an error. Even the witnesses themselves can be nervous during court, and the communication does not become consistent, and therefore create a doubt. And the law states that where there is a doubt, however slight it is, the benefit goes to the accused. That's the law. But going forward, what makes this crime to be successful is that the offended must come out emphatically and tell the police or the state that, look, this communication sincerely offended me to this magnitude. It offended me. Now, if you have the likes of our boss, the Lord Mayor, having an alternative that, yes, I was offended, but for me, I want to just present myself that I'm alive, and therefore there is no problem. That is more or less creating impunity. Another person will say, if the Lord Mayor can ignore, I can also ignore. One of the things that the Lord Mayor stands for is the rule of law. I would expect him to respect the law to the letter. He's the man who believes in the rule of law. And I wanted him to support us in this. Somebody cannot abuse you, somebody cannot announce you dead and you keep quiet. And you think the only remedy you can do is to come and... But that is his... because the law is that you must show that you are offended. That is his fashion. But I would encourage him that next time it happens, God forbid, maybe he could try the alternative.
You know, are there incidents where police has taken interest in cases because of public interest?
Yes, they are. They are, but the law here, this specific one, indicates that the principal victim, and therefore the principal witness, must come out unequivocally and indicate that I was offended. We have had situations of one of the big person in Uganda here, actually without missing the words, His Highness the King of Uganda. He was announced dead. And of course, given his status, it's not a kind of person you can go and say, hey, Your Highness, can you record a statement? No. That is his status. We opened the file, we apprehended the people who did it, but we are waiting for the time when he will accept. In Uganda they say, Kabaka wali simira, Kabaka inokusima, tusobola kumwanganga. So that was one example. General Tumine was announced dead. He came out and complained, but the suspect has not been got. So, unlike other cases where you can prosecute in fulfillment of public interest, this particular one, you have to be with the person who was offended, the principal witness and the principal victim. And that's the law. Yes.
We've given examples regarding death, but let's now also go to other examples regarding still cyberbullying, where we've seen maybe someone uses verbal artillery. I'll give you a recent case. I've seen one of the common bloggers, I think is he called Isma, attacking one of the promoters. And actually, this is verbal artillery. Everywhere, people are just gaining more following day by day. And we are sure these are things you witness. We've seen many people from one camp then crossing to another camp, carrying out with the same business they were doing in the opponent camp. And some have even earned maybe promotions and prestige and being referred as heroes instead of being taken as rejects of society because what they are doing is wrong. And this is happening at the watch of police.
Yeah, I love the selection of your words, verbatirale, rejects, heroes. Well, there shouldn't be anybody who should be regarded as the living hero when he has done wrong. That is distortion of facts, and it is glorifying a wrong thing. Some of the guys truly who have been, very careless with their words. We've arrested them before. Some people have been complained. I mean, some people have reported complaints against some of them. But guess what? You know, Ugandans are very funny. Some of the complainants, the moment he comes and complains, he only indicates that I just want that person to stay one night in the cooler, and that me I have no intention of proceeding with him in court. And it has happened. You ask Isma, he has been at ours twice, and he's such a cunning guy. The moment he comes there, he is so remorseful, very remorseful. He even calls the victim and apologizes when the victim is there, and the victim forgives him. We've had him, and actually now Isma has completely reformed. He now talks, can I say, says. He has completely reduced the words of abuse which he was using before. It's true there are some other people who are abusing, but you see, if you abuse officially, maybe if it is in the public interest, we can take you on common nuisance. But if you use an electronic device, then we shall charge you as per the offenses provided for under the Computer Misuse.
And what is the punishment under the computer misuse? How deterrent is it if
well,
one is convicted?
I was looking at the offensive communication. That's why I'm saying we have not been prioritizing those cases. To the contrary, we have been on community sensitization and cautioning. Because when you look at the punitive actions against people who commit offenses of offensive communication, one, I saw it's around 20 currency points, 24 current points, and the currency point is 20,000, meaning that on conviction, you can only be punished to paying 480,000. But at the same time, there is a provision for custodial sentence, which is a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor, this is where they can sentence you between 1 to 3 years. So it's not that lethal, and we wouldn't encourage the lawmakers to make it more lethal. But the contrary, want the person, because you see, a conviction is a conviction, even if it's a caution, especially to the civil servants, even to people who are still hoping to get better opportunities in life. Robert, at your age, if you are convicted, you are condemned to 10 years of not having a public office. Now, you are abusing today because you are idle, but you don't know the opportunities that may come tomorrow. You are abusing today because you are idle, but tomorrow you may need to go outside and you will need a certificate of good conduct from Uganda Police, Interpol. And our records would read that you are a former convict. And therefore we shall give you a certificate indicating that you are a former convict. Who will employ you? Who will welcome you as a former convict? So don't abuse in disregard of your future. Don't abuse because the law, the punishment is a misdemeanor. Don't abuse because the fine is just 480. Don't abuse because you think, because at the end of it all, if you do it repeatedly, now it ceases being offensive communication, it becomes cyber harassment, which is a little bit lethal. It goes to 5 years plus. So for some people who have been, repeating it.
Looking at cyber harassment, have we secured any meaningful convictions? Because I want to believe this has happened in Uganda as well. We've seen times when some group has woken up. We remember in terms of politics, sometimes something funny, maybe a reaction, and these people continuously do this. So regarding cyber harassment, what have we been able to put on table as the investigative arm of Uganda Police that yes, here we've secured victory, we have the capacity, and this can be deterrent?
Robert, you see, police, Uganda Police is pro-people. And in the day-to-day work which we do, we sometimes acknowledge that some crimes are committed during the heat of moment. During the political time, there were lots of crime that were committed via the electronic gadgets, which would be offenses under the Computer Misuse Act. But you see, our analysis was, what was the situation before? And then a month after, we also analyzed, because we have a commissioner in charge, crime data analysis and compilation. Then plus our colleagues of crime intelligence. We analyze crime trends. Now, you also look at the crimes of similar nature that have been committed slightly after. From the time the narrative of Taja Kulaira failed, we saw completely a reduction of crimes of that kind of nature. Now, of course, it's never our intention to concentrate our police cells and let alone the prisons. So there are some crimes which we had, and of course after engaging with the DPP, we removed interest. We withdrew interest. Say these crimes were were committed during the heat of moments during the elections. So these were emotional crimes. Now that there is no more electioneering, probably there will be sanity. Then we use the next 4 years for community policing, for community engagement, so that even when we go for the next elections, some of those crimes should not be repeated. So it's true, some of these crimes have been committed, but the circumstances under which they were committed were not justifying that the person committing them is a habitual criminal. He was just emotional. And we thought now that the things that were provoking the emotions are over, maybe he can be a responsible citizen. And going forward, we are seeing it. It's not like yesterday. It's not like yesterday. But there are some people who have persisted and perpetually continued to commit these crimes. And we have files for them. Others are being looked for. Others have been apprehended. Others are on police bond. Others are on court bail. Others are in prison. We don't promote impunity in any case, like you said. And you know that's what makes UBC and its modulators from the rest of other media houses. Because of your informative approach and objectivity. In your preamble here, you said some of those words have an effect on our image as a country. It can adversely affect the FDI's foreign direct investment. It can incite violence. This is what happened in South Africa. Because some of the messages were actually exacerbated by the communication on the computer. Now, billions of money in dollars have been destroyed.
Charles, we must accept, yes, there must be an immune face. And usually the end result is not about detention, but there must be room for reconciliation.
Thank you.
There must be room for people to change, because actually even we know the law facilitates change of character.
Sure.
But let's look at moving way forward. How do we move from this place where all you've said is worth it and of course very valid, but unfortunately this crime, when I look at the annual crime reports, constantly computer misuse, cyber related crimes keep on hiking. So how best should we move forward?
You know, every crime, the other time somebody was challenging us, and I looked at it a little bit sordid and immoral. You know, somebody saying, you have cameras, why didn't you detect these criminals before they shot at Katumba? So, there is no camera that can scan somebody's heart.
Intention, yes.
The intention. Some of these criminals form the intention which we can never see by any science. And they are so daring that we are going kufana kuona. They leave their homes going to commit a crime knowing that they may not come back. So whether the camera sees them, they will proceed. Now, what we appreciate as investigators and Uganda police is that we need to win people's hearts. And this is not a responsibility of police only. Fighting crime is a collective responsibility. And I want to tell viewers and pass a vote of appreciation to UBC, specifically this gentleman. He has been very unequivocal, steadfast, and unwavering in as far as fighting crime is concerned. In his daily routine, some of you have been seeing Robert. He will not talk 1 or 2, 3 words without hinting at the public desisting from committing crime. These are the ambassadors we want. Now, going forward, we want everybody to join us to ensure that people with intentions of committing crimes, either by commission or by omission or negligence, should think twice. You get a phone, you want to do a transaction. You get a phone, you want to type. Before you post, before you click that clip, the last clip, do you evaluate what you are sending? Does it have a crime connotation? Is it going to add value to you or to the society where you live? If it is a crime, think twice. Is that, if you are annoyed, if you are emotionally ruptured, could that one be an alternative? If we fight the attitude of Ugandans, then some of the crimes, because you know there are some cyber-related crimes that are not even of economic gain. Now you get the phone and you announce somebody dead. Of what economic gain or social gain are you going to get? You know, at least there are these ones who get the phones and commit fraud. Maybe you can say he wanted to get, but this one who just write nonsense and share, of what economic gain? We can do better together, the team.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Twina Charles Macho, who is the spokesperson of the Criminal Investigation Directorate of Uganda Police. One word I can say, that let's together fight crime. Today, it's somebody else being bullied, and you're enjoying. You're seeing this person as a hero. The next day, it is going to be you, your daughter, your son. Let's consider these rejects of society. Let's condemn this. Together we can fight cyberbully and cyber-related crimes. Have a lovely day. I'll leave you with Ruben Mpima Kasela Chibira to take you through the world of sports, and later on Jagenda Semakula will be here, take you through Good Morning.